Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Loma Montana. We are going to be playing corn dryer here in a little bit. We are harvesting corn up here at our farm. This is going to be the last stream we're going to be doing here on this map because, again, as I said, when we did our very first stream with the map author, I did not want to play this map to death before it released because, well, I want to save the map for you guys to enjoy on your own. And in the 4 previous live streams we did, including the premiere video with the map author, we've just been kind of doing a little bit of farming and showing off some of the map features. The corn dryer is what we're going to show off tonight, and hopefully I can figure out where to buy the propane. I think I know where to get the propane. I've got a propane tank already purchased, waiting to be picked up at the shop. All we need to do is, well, fill our trailer full of corn, and then we can start working on that process. But for now, we're just going to harvest some corn up here by the, well, what I call the Welker farm, because it reminds me an awful lot of the Welker farm on the Welker farm map. And as I've said before, I kind of prefer this Welker farm map as opposed to the original. I think it looks better. Oops. Trucker J, what's up? Ultra Productions, I don't know anything new about the map from the last time. Well, basically from the first time we were on with the map author. I don't have an updated version. I don't expect to get an updated version. All I know is he was going to be working on fine-tuning the realistic values of crops and yields and other things. Is it Giuno? I really can't. I'm butchering everything. I'm not good at, you know, non-English names. So hopefully I didn't butcher it too much, but welcome to the stream. This map is not yet released. This is a preview copy of the map that we have gotten from the map author. He's going to be working to release this over at his Facebook page. You can follow his Facebook by looking him up at No Creek Farms over on Facebook. I'd have to look, Sherry. I don't recall if I did or didn't. That was like a whole week ago. That might as well have been a lifetime ago. In fact, before we go and forget something else, this video is brought to you by GoldenEye 48 and Raznak. Thank you for being farm barons. Trucker J, my day's going pretty good. Day's going pretty good. Desert Ox, what's up? What is up? Jerry, it will not be on all platforms because it's going to be released over on Facebook, possibly hosted on itch.io. It is a 4X map. And as we know, 4X maps have not been released for console to date. And this one is quite the burden on resources. So I would be highly suspect as to, one, how many slots would be left after loading this map in. Right now the map is 1.4 gigabytes in size. So it is much larger than what Giants will allow on the mod hub, even if the map author would want to submit it over there. Twiggy, what's interesting is I had a commenter mention the map that we did yesterday, Deadwood. Looked an awful lot like Pacific Northwest in FS19. At least the lower part of the map, the agricultural part of the map. So I went back and looked at the PDA for Pacific Northwest in FS19, and I have to say, the fields are pretty much spot on. If they didn't use Pacific Northwest as a basis, and if they weren't inspired by that PDA, I gotta say, it's pretty spot on. It's pretty ironic that those field layouts would be pretty much spot on. But of course, the northern part is completely different. I'm not saying that it's a copy of Pacific Northwest or anything, but it's pretty interesting if you look at the field layout of the two map PDAs. They are pretty spot on, with of course some variations, because with Pacific Northwest there's a river. There's a bigger river running straight through the middle of the map. Sherry, I don't know. I don't know how you even do that. If that was just him putting words in the description, or if it's actually been set up to where rolling doesn't do anything. To give you a frame of reference as to what we've done here with respect to this field. This is the field we're working on. I chopped the field in half right here. So I chopped the field there, and I basically made two rectangles. And we're working on this rectangle now. Then we'll come over here and we'll work on this rectangle. And I'll tell you what, this part of the field, it's pretty shocking, the views you get from there, because it's a near sheer cliff down to the river below, and I can only imagine, well, what it would do to you and your harvester if you didn't turn quite on time and you found yourself falling off the cliff. Sherry, that was Deadwood. And if you don't have the DLC, I would suspect that the tractor doesn't appear. I didn't check that, but that is what I would assume. That is what happens on PC maps when the map author includes DLC machinery as part of the starting machinery. If you don't have the DLC, the equipment just doesn't show up. It's just not available. Well, if that's the case, then I'm surprised it got through Giants testing. Or should I be surprised that it got through Giants testing? As I've said before, the only thing consistent about Giants testing is their inconsistencies. So who knows? We might see it. We might see it vanish. So, if you're remotely interested in Deadwood, get it now before it goes away, right? I assume once you download it, it's not going to vanish from your console. But it was Deadwood, because Deadwood, everything is Case IH. The harvester, the tractor, the two tractors. Because that tractor is over at the animal area. Under that one shed you can't sell. Now, in my video, I did demonstrate what happens if you load the map up without premium or platinum, because there are premium and platinum productions in the map, and basically you can't make the things that are part of premium and platinum, which does make some of the productions a little bit useless. Oh, Desert Ox, I completely agree. With the pretense, of course, that in order to one, incorporate those DLC assets into your map, you must own the DLC. And in order to use those DLC assets in a modded map, you must also own the DLC. Assuming you own the DLC, I don't see why there would be a problem with doing that. And the only thing I see it doing is, well, selling more DLC. Because if the hot map comes out and it requires DLC, well, people that don't own the DLC are going to want to buy it because they're going to want to be able to play that hot map. Yeah, Robert, it's the Case IH pack that came out a few months ago. It includes the 1066 Hydro and then a smaller case. So it includes where is it? Do I not have it active here for some reason? Here, the 1066 Hydro. And the this one. David, because apparently, rumor has it that the 1066 Hydro that is in the Deadwood map is available for anyone and everyone, regardless if you have that paid DLC add-on pack or not. Yeah, so Robert, if you load the map up and look, that tractor does not have the mod Loma Montana tag underneath it, probably. It's not going to show up in the mods and DLCs under Loma Montana. I think it's just referenced from the XML. Let me check something. So yeah, the Case IH Farm All Pack is 7 megabytes in size. So I think the model may be kind of embedded in the game, kind of like some of those other unlocks, like the Black Beauty Fent and the Black Mac Anthem. Those files are technically in the game, and when you unlock them, you basically unlock the ability to call those files in the game. Yeah, Desert Ox. That YouTube's doing that now. They're periodically slapping ads in midstream. Shouldn't be that invasive. All right, so this is the route we need to take to get to the farm that is directly in front of us. That is the farm that has the corn dryer. You gotta climb the hill. You're definitely going to want something with a lot of HPs. Unless you're willing to struggle up the hills. So, David, I just say rumor because I didn't test it. I didn't try it out. And therefore, I'd rather not say for a fact if it is or isn't available if you don't own that DLC. But rumor has it that it is available even if you don't have the Case anniversary pack. So you do need to own the farm in order to use this dryer. I've gone ahead and bought this farm. And the dryer is set up to not only be a dryer, but also a silo. So you see we have a corn dryer. Corn and propane are going to make dried corn. And then the rest is basically set up as a silo. So you can't store non-dried corn. You're going to be forced to dry any corn you put into this silo. All right, now we need to run down the shop and grab my propane tank. Then, like I said, we're going to need to try to figure out where we buy our propane. I think I know where. I hope I know where, because if I don't, then it's going to be a lot of looking. Well, sure, that would be an interesting feature for sure. To have grain drying and grain moisture. And hopefully there will be a 25. I would really not want to have to go another year. Because I really feel that FS22 is getting very long in the tooth. This area right here where we parked the trailer, that is one of the historic landmarks on the map, Decision Point. A real area here in Loma. It's where Lewis and Clark on their great adventure westward stopped. Went to the top of that hill and overlooked the river. Try to figure out which way they needed to go. One would think, Sherry, one would think that there would be a third-year season pass. Unless they just didn't have the content to fill it out. As we do know from the, well, the now defunct Farm Sim podcast, that it can take multiple years from when a contract is signed to when the content is ready to be in-game. Let's see. Can we get... Nope. All right. I was hoping that would work. I really don't think it's going to work over here. Nope. Well, that was my best idea for where we could find it. There's not a whole lot of spots in town. Well, Walter, I mean, we don't know. And basically every FS release is going to be basically iterative of the previous. FS17 was iterative of 15, 19 was iterative of 17, and so was 22. There are some new things added with each release. Some changes on the back end to make things a little bit more or less functional. But simply from the surface, it will appear as if there's very little change, but in reality, there's a fair bit of change on the back end. Well, Sherry, they've been working. I'm sure they've been working on 25 since the 22 release, or whatever's coming next. Right? They don't start working on something when it's announced. So, for example, with respect to FS19 and, let's say, Seasons, right? It was really a disappointment that FS19 did not include the Seasons mod, because FS17 Seasons mod came out during the mod contest, which was approximately 6 months after release, 7 months after the release of the game, and basically a year and a half before FS19's release. So folks were like, well, yeah, we should have Seasons in 19 because we had Seasons for so long in 17. And what Giants had said was basically they were too far along in the dev process with 19 when Seasons became a big thing, a big blow up, the thing to do and the thing to have, to incorporate it or add it to 19. So if that's the case, just 7 months after the release of the previous game, they're already too far along with the development cycle of the next game to incorporate a major feature like Seasons. You can kind of see how far along they would be. Alright, I'm going to have to say I have zero idea now where Propane might be on the map. Maybe it's not been added. Maybe we're not going to be drying any corn tonight. Because that's the town. So we checked down here, checked over here. There's nothing here at the shop. Other than that, we have the farm, we have our farm. There's another farm up here. That's the map. So we're just gonna make some propane appear. Pretend we found a fill point for it. Well, Sherry, I think they're pretty good with their coding. They've been around now, releasing games since 2009, Farm Sim 09. Remember, they were forced to do an every other year release cycle when they were under the Focus Home Interactive publishers. There's still plenty of time for them to announce something before FarmCon. FarmCon is going to be in July, is it not? They just may be taking the stance that if they announce something too soon before FarmCon, maybe that they'll lose some hype between that announcement and then FarmCon when they would do other announcements. Historically, on a release year, we would get a CG trailer at some point in the spring. For FS22, it was in April. I don't really know when it was for FS19. My guess would be April timeframe as well. And we don't really get any more information until FarmCon, and that's when we get a boatload of information. And we get to see our first gameplay. So, if that would hold true, anything announced now would simply be a CGI trailer. And then, you know, more information would be coming at FarmCon. There's still a potential for FarmCon to be very focused on whatever comes next. But if we don't have any announcement at FarmCon, then it's pretty much assured it ain't happening. Now, I do have a link down in the description to this propane mod. It's available over at itch.io. I've used this before on maps that have anhydrous, because he also has anhydrous tanks. Let's go over here and fire this thing up. Now, I think it's going to produce our dried corn pretty quick, because it's going to do 3,840 cycles a month, basically a day, at 500 units of corn per cycle. So we should be able to come back to this by the end of the stream. What's up, Ravenhawk? I think that would be probably I don't know anything about pissed off, a lot of disappointed attendees for sure. I mean, if you're going to get angry about going to a convention because they didn't announce the next version of the game when there was no inclination that there would be an announcement about the next version of the game, then I think all you have to do is be angry with yourself for making such a broad reaching assumption. But you could be very, 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 very disappointed in the fact that you didn't have such an announcement, and it was fairly anticipated by yourself and others that there would be such information. But yeah, Farmer G, I was kind of, me and probably others even, speculated about Giants announcing FarmCon way back in December, which would have been the earliest they've ever announced FarmCon to date. That in making such an early announcement, they wanted to make sure plenty of people had plenty of opportunity to make travel plans. But again, we've got 2 months. 2 months. 8 weeks. Still time to make an announcement, have some hype, and then Kevin, can you see the title of the stream? I'll just leave it at that. What's up, Ron? How you doing? Now let's go check out one of the coolest features on this map and of this section over here where we have our farm setup. But to do that, we need to stage our truck first. And make our way all the way to the bottom of this field. You forget that this is a 4X map until it takes an eternity to get to the bottom of the field. You see here, that's where we cut it off. And you know, if it feels like you're driving toward a cliff, well, it's because you are driving toward a cliff. Because that's, yeah. It just falls way down to the river. And we do have a sell point way off over there. And then that is all distance scenery over there. So yeah, you don't want to fall off there. In fact, let's do this. This will give you a little sense of scale. Right, there's the harvester. There's the cliff. Here we are at ground level. Dude, where are you going? Well, yeah, let's take a look at our silo. I got 270,000 liters of soybeans, and we know soybeans has a fairly low yield to it. We got that off of one of our fields. We've got 99,900 liters of wheat and 83,000 liters of flax off of another field. So field 4 was where we had soybeans. Field 5 is where we had wheat. Field 2 is where we had flax. Field 1 is where we have alfalfa. I'm trying to remember what was in field 3. I guess that was wheat also. Yeah, this field being right by the cliffside is really cool. And there's a really neat feature of the cliff that I want to show you here in a little bit. Where it's like it's had, you know, a decent amount of erosion going on. Goldeneye, what's up? You missed it. You missed it because look whose name is on the screen. Thank you, sir. Then other things I like about the map is the road off in the distance. That is distant scenery. Right, but it lines up fairly well with the map itself. Oh, let's not fall off the cliff. That would be a long tumble. Here's that spot I was talking about that's kind of like erosion. Oh, what kind of controller did you get? And you see the cliff continuing off in that distant scenery. I think all of this terrain is hand sculpted. Go ahead and empty that. So I think that's the perfect way to end it here. When we end our stream is to launch a pickup off the cliff. Maybe try to aim for here. And see if we can make the island over there. Yeah, I paid for a color paint on my truck just to launch it off the cliff. Oh, are you talking about the controller? I thought you were talking about my pickup truck. Now, while we wait on our harvester to make his way back, let's go ahead and talk about another partner that we have here on the channel. That is Apex Gaming Computers. We've got 2 deals going on right now. Between now and May 24th, you can use the code May24 and save 10% off. But also, you can use my partner code FARMER-KLEIN to get 10% off anything at the Apex website. That would not only mean these 3 configurations that we have here, that we have partnered with them on building out the Yeoman, Homesteader, or Ranger, but also anything under their custom gaming loadouts or their normal website. So again, 10% off until May 24th using the May 24 code, or using my FARMER-KLEIN code, 10% off anything on their site for the entire month of May. We have 3 configurations here: the Yeoman, Homesteader, and Ranger. You can go check them out. Link down in the description below. I'm gonna have to, well, clearly, I didn't look at this earlier because, well, you're not getting a CPU for the Homesteader. Yes, you are. I got to figure out what's going on with that. Ask them to get that fixed, clearly. So I wouldn't order the Homesteader until you know what you're going to get. But at any rate, you can check out the configurations here. They are configurable. Again, 10% off using the code May24 until May 24th, or using my FARMER-KLEIN code in order to get 10% off anything on their site. Apex Gaming Computers, available, linked down in the description below. Oh, the spinning rust. Spinning rust is now a paperweight. How much faster do you feel the system is? Because if the M2 is an NVMe M2, it should be multitudes faster than even an SSD. So the standard SSD is still going to be limited to SATA speed, 6 gigabit at best, whereas an NVMe drive is going to be capable of substantially faster transfer rates. Well, that's good that you don't have stutter. That would be when it was going to be loading in game files. So that's good. You should find it works a lot better on anything that's dealing with moving files around, moving data around. What do y'all think of this cliff over here? This Cliffside field 6. Like I said in the preview, or in the first look video with the map author, the first time I loaded the map up, I was like, this map has a very unique look. Definitely going to give you a sense of longevity with that system being an NVMe drive. Well, that's why I tried to get a little bit of a head start, Walter. I knew I couldn't get the whole field done in just 2 hours. Yeah, I think I probably spent 6 hours harvesting field 4 here. You know, we harvested this on stream, and then I did a decent amount of harvest afterwards. I mean, you can see we've got nearly 12 hours on this harvester. And we've harvested a whole 4 fields with it. Four and a half fields to 12 hours. So yeah, if I was someone that used Horseplay, then I would definitely probably set up a multi-harvester run. And now that we've got this pretty much squared off, it won't take too long. It is a new month, yes. The cows probably are in desperate need of food. They're all doing fairly good. Oops, 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 oops. Ignore all that. Wrong button. I try to get a really bright truck so we could really easily see it flying off the cliff. I do. It's a little undersized. That's okay. We'll manage. Yeah, Ravenhawk, I guess the Fent 1050 would probably work. I don't know if there's a Kloss big enough. Well, it's not HP, it's weight. It's weight. That auger wagon is pushing the tractor around. There we go. What types of rumors and speculation have you all heard about recently? Oh, nope, no Ghostbusters here. I haven't seen the new movie. I might catch it eventually. Just in time. I think he was about to stop too. I don't know anything about Witcher, any of the Witcher titles. How do we get 15x speed up here? There we go. We need to check on our corn dryer. See where that is in the process. So all of our corn is dry. Like I said, I didn't think it was going to take too terrible long. I did finally watch all of the Fallout show. I probably wouldn't have even watched that had I not needed to kind of waste a few hours at work on a Saturday. It was okay, but I feel maybe a lot of its hype is just maybe a bit much from the nostalgia of the Fallout players that have played the various Fallout games. I feel maybe they were feeling a bit more nostalgic about that game or about that show. And without such games, it would have been okay. I don't have any background playing any of the Fallout, so it was, again, just a show to me with an interesting storyline. But I felt it moved a little slow at times and left me going, how much longer in this episode? And I felt like I was asking myself that question too many times in too many episodes for it to be a great show. Walter, what's the premise of Another Crab's Treasure? I don't know, Ravenhawk. I haven't played that one either. Field 6. "22 hectares in size," Field 6 is. And you can see the soil map. Quite an interesting and complex soil map that we have here on Loma. And the reason for that interesting soil map, the map author said, was to give more realistic yield levels based on kind of best areas of the field, where you had the field edges being the worst yielding. So they were silty clay, and then as you got more and more to the interior, you would get your better yielding soil. And then also your soil would somewhat follow the contour lines of the ground itself. Oh, there was a Last of Us TV show. What was that on? I think we dropped our Netflix. They kept upping the price, and pretty much no one really watched it with any regularity. Cinemax? I definitely haven't had Cinemax in many years. We dropped cable probably about 3 years ago. It was the same time I got fiber. So you clean the sea of trash and battle other marine wildlife who is also trying to collect the trash. Quite an interesting premise. Have you played Dave the Diver? I've not played it, but I've heard it's pretty good. I think this might fill up our truck. We'll take this over to the dryer, fill up a load of dried corn, and see about selling that dried corn. See how much money we get. I'm 92% close enough. And Sherry, with the way they release digital content these days, right, when they drop the whole season at once, you can just sign back up, binge watch whatever you signed up for, and then dump it again the next month. It takes 2 hours to do platelets? Or is that just because you got slow flow? Or do they pull it out and then spin them out of you? I don't know what the process is. You get Netflix with your cable subscription? So like an hour and 45 minutes. Yeah, we dropped cable because literally no one in the house was watching it. Like everyone else in the house either watches YouTube or various streaming content like Disney Plus, Discovery, whatever. But now with so many streaming services, it's like you gotta be careful. You're gonna end up spending just as much money as you spend on cable between the various streaming services. Scooter, what's up? Good evening to you. Has spring been keeping you occupied? And don't forget, if you're a Prime subscriber, you also have Prime Gaming. Lots of free games every month. There we go. That wasn't popping for me. So we're grabbing our dried corn. Yeah, for PC. All right, let's figure out where we're taking this. Loma Green, here we come. This farm is built right here on the edge of this bench. Keep wanting to call it a shelf, but I know that's wrong. And of course, way down yonder, across the river, we have the big feedlot. I think Netflix has games too, because if I remember, one of the Farm Sim mobiles was released or announced for Netflix game. Walter, I think that's probably why they came out with that. What was that? Dragon show? Is that the prequel to Game of Thrones? Yeah, House of Dragons. Yeah, with PC gamers, there's lots of places to get free stuff. You've got all the Amazon free titles per month, Epic's free games per week. Occasionally GOG drops some freebies out there. Then for anyone not familiar, we've got an animal or cow pasture down here by the town. We have three buildings here, or 4 buildings here. The 2 in the middle are storage silos and a train transfer station. First one and last one are sell points. And these have been modeled after the real locations. What's up, Gold Gaming? How are things going? HX or Smurf, thank you for the sub. If you're in chat, say howdy. We'd love to say hi back. We've been working through a corn harvest, Gold Gaming. One of the biggest features and things that I enjoy most out of the 4X map is the driving, the distance. Going from point A to point B takes a while. That's why I never really got into or was interested in auto drive, because auto drive, when it first came out, really was just about automating the delivery of things from point A to point B. Why would I want to automate the thing I enjoyed most? So that's why I never got into it. Indeed, Gold Gaming. In fact, yeah, it makes one want to travel to the region just to experience this in real life. Because we know the map author went to pretty good links to try to map things out and sculpt things as real to life as possible. All right, let's go stage our truck. Uh-oh. Well, Donald, he might not know a lot because Loma is a pretty small place. I think just looking at the PDA area of the town, the entirety of the town is mapped out on the map here. But I suspect if he knows anything about Loma, he probably knows the historical aspects of that. And that would be the Lewis and Clark expedition. And decision point. Which is what we have here. And the short of it is basically, this is the point where Lewis and Clark on their great expedition came up here to the top of this hill and overlooked the river to basically decide which way to go. I think everyone's seen the feedlot, but we might as well just detour over there. Where we have probably the most animated animals you've seen in a farm sim in a single location. There are, at best count, 600 animated cows in this area. So good luck in keeping these guys fed and keeping them in manure. So if you include the feedlot, there are 4 pre-placed farms on the map. We're making our way up the hill because we're going to launch this thing off the cliff. Yes, they are. All I'll show you here in the build mode. We want to get a good run. All right. So under build mode, we have all of these, and these are all those feedlots. So you could place these down, and then you would have to put your own fencing down around them. Clearly, you'll need the More Animals mod that is available in the Giants mod hub before you can put more down. But these are various iterations. There's a couple bigger ones that hold 25. The rest of these hold 20. And that is because Giants has a visual limit of 25 animals are going to be visual in any given area. So all of those lots have been set up to hold 20 to 25 so that all of them will have all of their animals visually appearing. No, you don't need a drone. As you saw, we could drive through there. So you could drive through there with a feeding wagon. All right, here we go. Here we go, people. That is a field of wheat over here to our left. Oh my gosh. Oh, we almost made it to the island. Oh, and it still works. I mean, that's some good flight there. Of course, we kind of rolled it a bit. Right, that's where we launched it. Really, it's a shallow river. So here we have a sell point. And let's make our way over to the one farm that we haven't looked at tonight. And that's where we will probably call the evening. Say farewell to Loma, at least for our channel. The next time you'll see Loma on this channel will be when the map releases with the official map video. There is no date set for that release. Map author is working with a team of testers to finalize the map, fine-tune it, and his goal is to get it as realistic as possible, all the way down to realistic crop yields, realistic crop prices. He already has in the realistic land prices and is working on the realistic yield by kind of tweaking the soil mask. There we have our feedlot. The farm with the corn dryer is up on that bench. Keep wanting to call it a shelf, but it is a, apparently the proper terminology is bench. The decision point location on our right. Oh, there's the big train. You'll see the big train. It is a rentable train. It is also going to be able to be used for a off-map sell point. Oh, can we race it? Oh, yeah. There you go. We did it. We did it. And it just keeps going. And going. And going. Oh, here it is. Now, what I don't remember is if there's a lane going up to the farm from here? I think there is. Yeah, right here. And this farm has a really large cow mesh as well. You have your farmhouse over there. Oh no, somebody knocked over my mailbox. And then the farm up here. And then I guess if you need to go to town, I mean, I guess you could shortcut it. Oh, there we go. And here we are back down in town. Back down in Loma. You know what? I think I've worked up quite a hunger. So I'm going to make my way over here to Ma Loma's Cafe. See if she might have some fried catfish on a special. If not, I might go over here to Pa Loma's Market and pick up some live bait and go down the river and catch me some catfish. I want to thank you all for coming out and watching tonight. Again, keep an eye on the channel for when this map does release. There is no release date yet, but it will release when it is finally ready. And then keep an eye on our map tour, map review playlist. You'll definitely know when this map is fully released. Also, go ahead over to Facebook and follow, keep track of whatever the Facebook terminology is for the map author. He can be found over at Facebook at No Creek Farms. Tomorrow night, we're going to be over on our secondary channel, Explanation FK Funhouse. For a link to that channel, American Truck Simulator is releasing Nebraska tomorrow. And we will be doing a special convoy in American Truck Simulator in Nebraska tomorrow night. Checking out the state, seeing what the sites are, trying out the new features that are in 1.50's release of American Truck Sim. And also checking out some of the features that come with the map, which include hauling grain. You will be able to load grain, transport grain, and unload grain at various sell points and load points in the map itself. So we're going to hopefully have grain trailers and do that as well. Till next time, happy farming.